Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, interesting stuff going on. First up, the Swiss is rapidly warming up to crypto investments and why that's a great thing. Also, German bank von der Heydt tokenizes securities on the Stellar blockchain. And I found this one fascinating because this is not one of my six, but it makes me look into Stellar a little bit more closely. Also, EOS Coinbase suspension traced to degraded performance, and this is kind of depressing news for me because it is one of my six, and we're going to delve into this story. Also, 45 million in Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin siphoned off as SIM swap menace continues, which will lead us into the scam of the day. And first of all, I want to say thanks for everybody who has participated. We have removed a ton of scams, so that helps us out, especially as 2020 is going to be a very big year for cryptocurrency. And this is going to help us in this space to protect all the newbies who are coming in and might FOMO in, because we want to have them screwed out of their money. So this is usually done at the last moment of the last part of the video, but today we're going to switch it up. I'm going to go over this first. The reason we're going to go over this first is because we have some scams that just keep hanging on, and I can look at different things as far as like the click numbers and what people are actually doing. When we did this in the beginning, when we started this off on the video, we actually had like 100% success rate, and I moved it to the back because people said, hey, don't hijack us and don't make us watch all this stuff, because some of us don't want to do that. And I was like, that's fine, I'll move it to the back. But the problem with that is that as I move to the very last part of the video, very few people are actually clicking on it now, very few people are actually taking action. So every so often I need to put this to the front so people will take action, and the reason for that is simple. If we do not take action in our space, YouTube doesn't have the ability to wipe out all these scams. I mean, they do, but they are lackadaisical in the whole process. So it is up to us to police the whole community. And it's very easy to do. All you have to do is just click on a link, downvote it, and then just say it's a scam, and off it goes. Now, if I do it, it's only one person, and that doesn't help us at all. But if you do it, and then we have thousands of people watch the video do it, then it will get eliminated. If we do not do this, this space will be riddled with scams, and when new people come in, they are going to get screwed out of their money, and then it's not going to be, hey, cryptocurrency digital assets is fantastic. They're going to say, hey, I lost all my money, and cryptocurrency, they are a scam. They are used for the Silk Road. They are used for nefarious purposes and cartel and all that nonsense that we know is not true, but that is what they're going to say to all their friends. One person gets screwed out, that means that they tell 10 of their friends, those 10 tell 1,000, 10,000, and so on. So if we don't take care of this now, this will be a huge problem later. So just help me out. I really appreciate it. So first up, to get to this section, in every video that I do in the description, there's going to be a link. It's going to say Scam of the Day. And next to that, once you click on that link, it's going to take you to this handy dandy Google spreadsheet. And at the very bottom are these four that just, actually this one's a duplicate, I need to remove this. But these three, they just keep going on. And look at this, this one is from January 25th. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to go to the actual scam. So before we get into this, let me just help you out. If you have any inkling or any type of inclination to think that these are not scams or that something is not a scam, I want you to remember one thing. Treat everything like a scam until proven otherwise. Let me say that one more time. Treat everything like a scam unless proven otherwise. Even if you see my logo in some other type of video, or even in my own videos where I say, hey, I'm giving away free whatever, or I recommend this free whatever, if you see it in the comment section, click on that logo and make sure it is me, or click on that logo to make sure it's not some other YouTuber, and you'll see that it's usually often a scam. So if you think that people are giving away free money, they're not. If you think that Ripple is doing this free giveaway, the easiest way to do this is first, treat it like a scam. Second thing is to go to the official website at Ripple and just send them an email. Hey, are you giving away free Ripple on this YouTube? They're going to tell you no. Or you can go to Binance or Coinbase and go, hey, are you guys doing a free airdrop? They're going to tell you no. If you go to Ledger, hey, are you giving away free nanos? They're going to tell you no. So basically, 99.99999% of everything is a scam. Every so often, there is some type of giveaways, but they're not going to ask you for your money or your private keys or something crazy like that. So treat everything like a scam until proven otherwise. So let's take care of this scam first and foremost. So what are we doing here? Well, first of all, we check in the comment section. There's my boy When Mullet and James, and they're all telling you, look, this is a scam. So that's a red flag. Second thing we're looking for is this a asymmetrical giveaway? So what they're saying here is, if you want to participate, it's simple. To verify your address, just send us 1,000 to 10,000 or 100,000 XRP, and we'll give you 10,000 to 10 million back or something crazy. That's an asymmetrical giveaway. Ripple's not doing that. Binance isn't doing that. Nobody's doing that. So just treat it like a scam. Easy thing to do. We're going to downvote it. I dislike this like I've done about 1,000 times because this thing keeps going. This thing has been up since October 23rd. It's got about 1,000 views. It should not be here. This is ridiculous. So we're going to click on these three dots here, and we're going to click on the report because scammers like this to hide it. Click on spam or misleading. We're going to choose one. It's going to say scams and fraud, and this applies to links within the video description. We're going to click that and click next, and then we're just going to say, hey, this is a scam. And that's all you got to do. And that's on a desktop or a PC or a Mac, whatever you got. If you're on a mobile, it's just you click on the report and just click on this is a scam, and you're done. So it's very simple to do, very easy, and it's going to help us out in this space tremendously. Remember, this is our community, so let's take care of it. Moving on to today's stories. First up, the Swiss warm to crypto investments. This is a pretty good article because I like to talk about things that lead to mass adoption, and this is one of those indicators. So there was a survey. It was conducted by market research institute Intervista, shows that 7% of savers between the ages of 18 to 55 already hold cryptocurrencies such as Ether and Bitcoin. If they break that down, it was actually 7% of those aged between 30 and 35 plan to extend their crypto portfolios in the future. Coincidentally, according to 13% aged between 18 and 29, cryptocurrencies will become more important in the future. And less extraordinary results, the older generation, people over age 55, only thought 0.5% that they were going to invest into it, or a worthwhile investment. So really, when I look at this, I'm like, this is fantastic news. 10 years ago, first of all, no one really knew about this whatsoever. So now you've got 14, 15% of a population of a country who is saying, hey, this looks to us like a great investment. I'm going to pour not only the money that I have right now, but as time goes on, more money into it. So this just leads me to believe that as time moves on, the cryptocurrency and digital asset market will grow as people realize what it is and time moves on. Moving on in this article, it talks about the Switzerland ups the ante on regulation. So the uptick in demand from cryptocurrency comes just after Switzerland imposes more stringent crypto regulations. So when they say stringent, it sounds like a bad word, but it's really not. I truly believe that we need more regulation in this space, and we can see that with these scams and everything else. Once we get regulation and we get clarity, then institutional investors can move in, people can move in, and there's an understanding of, hey, how do we tax this the right way? How do we perform the necessary operations? How can we set up businesses like this? Because that's what we need right now. And as time moves on, it's going to happen. 2020, I think there are 20 or 21 different bills proposed to the U.S. Congress that they're going to vote on as far as cryptocurrency digital assets. So this is the year, I believe, of regulation. Anyhow, this rule they talked about in Switzerland and Europe, the rule which requires crypto firms to disclose customer information for transfers above 1,000 was initially set by FINMA, which is the Financial Market Supervisory Authority. So yeah, great. So $1,000, they're going to have to say, hey, you got to disclose that customer information because there's this thing called money laundering. Now, right now, what do we use for money laundering? U.S. dollars or whatever type of fiat that you have. So I don't get the big issue here. So $1,000, you have to report it. Sure, I got to do that right now with my bank account. Whatever. Moving on. This was really the main story. German bank Heydt tokenizes securities on Stellar Lumens blockchain. And before I go on, if you notice that I have this nice gravelly voice for today, it's not anything with the audio. It's just that I had a couple of clients come in, a couple of distributors that we actually went out last night and had a few rounds of beers and talked business. And I will tell you this, all these types of business transactions, when I start talking about the different partnerships and different things that are happening in the cryptocurrency space, it's the same thing with all business everywhere. Things pretty much happen depending on how strong your team is, the kind of relationships that you can build, the type of trust that you can build between each other. And like last night was pretty great. I mean, it worked out pretty well for business-wise everywhere else. I mean, especially with my business for these distributors that came in. But it just kind of reaffirmed that all these different things we talk about, it really is about partnerships, different things that come together between two entities to make things stronger. And here's an example. So the bank house, Heydt, one of the oldest banks in Germany, will use the Stellar blockchain to tokenize securities. For the implementation, the Munich-based bank has teamed up with the Berlin-based Bitbond, which received approval from the German Federal Financial Supervisory Authority, or BaFin, in January, to carry out the first public security, or STO, securities issues token. Bitbond now offers services such as lending and tokenization. So fantastic stuff. The Stellar blockchain is thereby used to tokenize the securities, which Heydt will offer to institutional customers. And they talk about here that how it's going to help with cost. So it says shares can be traded directly and without intermediaries, making financing much cheaper and less complicated. So that's the whole purpose, really. Well, not the whole purpose, but that's one of the purposes of cryptocurrency digital assets, is to cut out the middlemen and save costs, because we don't need them. And look what happened with Amazon. So instead of having like an actual retail store, it's just, you just buy it essentially right from the buyer or right from the distributor or supplier, and that's it. So it's the same thing here. Save money, everybody's happy, and the customer's happy, the people that are doing this process are happy, so great. One more thing about this, and this is the little nuance of it. It states here, the tokens will only be made available through private placements and will remain inaccessible to the public. And when I see this, it kind of bums me out, but then I remember one thing. The rich get richer. And if you saw my video yesterday where I talked about smart money, and I'm going to link that at the very end. Smart money, they are people that are millions or billionaires, and they don't really give a care in the world about what's happening on with the market. What they're doing is they're looking at a year, 3 years, 5 years, even 20 years down the road. And they have access to things that we don't have access to. And this is one of those examples. So if you start to look at what is smart money doing, how are they looking at things, this is a good example. So first of all, what's a private placement? So real quick, a private placement is a private alternative to issuing or selling a publicly offered security as a means for raising capital. In a private placement, both the offering and sale of debt or equity securities is made between a business or issuer and a select number of investors. There may be as few as one investor for any one issue. So basically, they're going to their big money players and going, look, here's what we're offering right now. It's a security token with different options later on the table later. Do you want to invest in this? If you do, it's going to be this many millions to get into it, but it's a fantastic investment. And you're going to see a lot of these private players really jump on board, and later down the road, we as private investors get to finally get a little slice of that cheese, which kind of sucks, but that's kind of how it works. But again, look at what is going on behind the scenes. Look at these different partnerships that are happening with backroom deals and handshakes and things like that, because that's really how business moves. Moving on. This was a bummer for me, because EOS is one of my 6. So if you aren't aware, here's what I've invested in. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, EOS, Cardano, and Chainlink. And I have my reasoning behind it for each one of those. But I used to own like over 40 different tokens back in 2017, 2018. I just wanted to consolidate. So it's not like I feel like other projects like a Litecoin or a Tezos won't take off. It's not what it is. It's just I wanted to consolidate. And a big thing with me is that I don't care which ones go up. Like the last story we just talked about with Stellar Lumens. If Stellar goes up, hey, fantastic. I'm a big cheerleader. Because guess what? We're a very niche market, and there's only 1 to 2% of us in the world that is actually into blockchain, cryptocurrency, digital assets. So if they go up, it brings attention to all projects. So I will be the first one to give a high five to that team. Great. Thanks for bringing attention to this whole industry, this whole community. Thank you so much. I don't understand the whole Bitcoin maximalism, XRP maximalism, tomato coin maximalism, or whatever you're into. I think we should really rally around each other, and that's how it should be. Moving on, EOS talks about owing to the degraded performance Coinbase experienced with EOS, or EOS. The digital currency exchange firm announced via Twitter on Saturday that EOS transfers have been suspended until further notice. Reportedly, it is not the first time Coinbase has experienced such degraded EOS performance, as reports were filed earlier in the week where the exchange firm alerted that EOS activities could be suspended. Technical issues that led to the EOS Coinbase suspension was not detailed, so that's a bummer. So real quick, the EOS Coinbase suspension has not stopped EOS trading on the Coinbase network, as currently EOS trading on the system works normally, as the suspension only affects sending and receiving EOS to be resolved when investigations are concluded. So you can still trade it, you just can't send or receive it, apparently. Sounds like you can probably buy it on Coinbase because they want you to buy as much as possible because they like those fees, and that's how it works. So real quick, here was the tweet, the original tweet itself, Coinbase support. They talked about, hey, there's some kind of problem with the network for EOS, and then EOS responded back, says, hello. Although the network did experience some micro forks from 20th of February, the EOS mainnet is currently extremely reliable. Just remember, when everybody hears forks, they start to think about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and these different types of forks that happen. Forks really are just upgrades. They don't have to be like a fork of where these two types of things split off. Like you're going to have like EOS now and then EOS Gold or EOS Diamond. It's just upgrades for most of the times. And they say, if you're still experiencing problems, feel free to reach out. We're happy to troubleshoot, blah, blah, blah. But this kind of makes me nervous because I'm looking at this type of data that they provided, and it says missed blocks and missed rounds. That's not good. I don't know the exact specifics. I'm not very technical in this area, but I can tell you this. When I start seeing missed blocks, missed rounds, degradation of the network, it does not make me super bullish as an investor. So hopefully they get things rolling, and we'll see. But similarly, another report, an anonymous Reddit user announced that she found it difficult to send EOS due to low computing power. And here was the actual post on Reddit. So in conclusion, I don't know what's going on. It makes me very nervous. I will definitely be monitoring this situation. And, hey, just because there is a hiccup right here and there doesn't mean it is an awful project. However, if you can see consistent problems throughout time, then it might be time to move on, but only time will tell. And last up, 45 million in Bitcoin Cash siphoned off as SIM swap menace continues. So really this was I don't put too much stock into this type of article because the whole article was based on a subreddit post. That's it. That's all on there. But I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention as far as scams and things that we should look out for. So over the last decade, attackers have found a way to gain control over victims' funds via a low-cost method called a SIM swap. Latest victim is a Chinese whale who lost Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin worth 30 and 50, or he lost $45 million. So this is the victim, Zhou Junfu, is a now deleted subreddit post, reportedly sought help from top Bitcoin Cash miners to reverse the transactions at 3 confirmations. However, at press time, the transactions were found to have 32 already. So basically, that transaction is gone. He's lost all that money. And then someone says, I still can't believe it's true. How come someone keeps so much crypto asset on his phone? This is why I'm kind of like leery on this whole thing. I'm like, really? Did he really leave 45 million in a wallet on his Samsung phone or whatever it was? I don't know. But I can tell you this, though. Here's how a SIM swap attack works. So a SIM swap, the hacker is trying to gain control over the victim's phone number. The attacker calls your carrier, pretends to be you, and asks to transfer service to a new SIM card. That's bad enough, but hundreds of websites use SMS for two-factor authentication, putting your accounts at risk. So basically, they're just going to call up to Verizon or T-Cell or T-Mobile, whatever you got, and they're going to say, "Hey, my name is blah blah, and there's something wrong, and can you issue me a new SIM?" They'll issue this. They will take over your phone, take over your accounts, and they'll take all your money. I don't think this is very commonplace. I don't think a lot of people keep a lot of wallets on their phones, but I can tell you this, this could be a big issue because Samsung just came out about a week ago, and they are talking about having their Samsung for upgrades and hardware wallets on their phone for, I believe it's Bitcoin and Ethereum support. Not sure how many are out there as far as like support for different cryptocurrencies. You can take a look later, but that is concerning as far as like wallets being used as your phone. If you have any inkling or any problems with that, I use a Nano Ledger. It's a cold wallet storage. They cannot get access to that because it's not on the internet. Very tough to gain access, and that's what I recommend. Don't have a link for that or a affiliate link or anything like that, but if you look in my description, I listen to 7 cryptocurrency YouTubers, and they've all got a link over there, and you can probably get a discount. Go check with them. And oh, lastly, and this was an interesting type of thing. This comes down to the point of try to keep your money off the exchanges as much as possible. I have money on exchanges right now. I'm going to let you know because when the bull run comes, I need to cash out. And I do not want to deal with the emotional uncertainty that I could cause myself, thinking that everything's going to go up and up and up. I have an XRP, an Ethereum, and Bitcoin exit plan. You can find that in the description below. So I have everything set in place in motion. Once prices hit a specific point, things get sold in a dollar cost average type of thing. You know, once Bitcoin hits 15,000, I'm going to sell so much. 20,000, sell so much. So I have a certain amount of money on these exchanges. However, this story talks about Greg Bennett, a serial angel investor, had also filed a lawsuit against Bittrex, claiming the exchange violated or ignored its own security standards and industry standard practices that allowed hackers to steal $1 million worth of Bitcoin from Bennett's account in April 2019, so not too long ago. Bennett was initially the victim of a SIM card hack, again, who then, I don't know why you keep $1 million on your phone, but okay, who then attempted to alert Bittrex. However, Bittrex reportedly failed to heed his warning for nearly 2 hours, allowing the hackers to drain his account. So again, don't keep too much on the exchanges, but whatever you're going to do, like I have my first 3 price points for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP on exchanges right now. Now the rest of it I keep in my Nano. So that kind of helps me with my own volatility in my own mind. And yeah, if you want to take a look at those, they'll be in the description. And that's it for today. So thanks for sticking with me through the rants and my hoarse voice because of the festivities I did yesterday. But a lot of deals get done that way, and that's just how it works in business. Thanks for listening, and I will see you on the next one.